Go. Will the Los Angeles Lakers hold on to the number 8 spot in the Western Conference? This is Across the Board with Jeff Grant here at SBRforum.com. The Lakers take on the Portland Trail Blazers Wednesday night at the Rose Garden in Portland, Oregon. This one tipping off at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. The Lakers currently 5-point favorites while the total sits at 202.5. The only line available in the market right now is at Bet Online as I shoot this early Wednesday morning from the city of Las Vegas. Definitely go to SBRodds.com to monitor any future odds movement. Without a doubt, this will be one of the more heavily wagered on games on the entire NBA board. 4-1 their last 5 games. The Lakers coming off a 104-96 victory over the New Orleans Hornets as 8.5-point home favorites on Tuesday night. That one going over the total of 193.5. A pick that you got here at SBRvideo.com, giving out the New Orleans Hornets as 9-point road underdogs when the line was released. Shooting guard Kobe Bryant, 23 of 30 points in the fourth quarter last night. Currently occupy the 8th spot in the Western Conference standings. Of course, would take on the San Antonio Spurs if the playoffs started today. A half game ahead of the Utah Jazz, who dropped a tough one against the Oklahoma City Thunder on Tuesday night. 5-10 straight up when closing out a back-to-back situation this season, and the Lakers are 1-5-1 against the spread when their starting lineup combines 160 minutes or more in their previous game. 8-game losing streak for the Portland Trail Blazers, 1-7 against the spread. Their last 3 that they've failed to cover all have come as home underdogs, but they are 12-2 straight up in their last 14 meetings at the Rose Garden against the Lakers. The last 6 meetings, at least one of these teams has eclipsed the 100-point mark. So definitely an offensive-minded series recently when this team used to get after it defensively in the Pacific Northwest. The Trailblazers haven't dropped 3 consecutive regular season series against the Lakers since the mid-'80s. Of course, they have dropped 2 of 3 meetings against the Lakers during the 2012-13 campaign. I'm going to look for the total here. I think it's going to be driven down. I think a lot's going to be made of the fact that the Lakers are going to be tired after last night's victory. But the Trailblazers have not been playing very good defense. They've allowed 108.6 points over their last 5 games, and they've gone over the total their last 4 games on 2 days rest, while the Lakers in the 3 meetings this year have scored 104 or more points. And I think Pau Gasol and Dwight Howard will carry the day here after Bryant scored 23 of 30 in the fourth quarter. Gasol and Howard should have their way inside against the depleted Portland roster. I think Portland's going to push it with point guard Damian Lillard, the rookie, and LaMarcus Aldridge should have success inside the paint, as I think the Lakers will be more offensive-minded than defensive-minded in the second game of back-to-back. So I'm going to pick over 202.5, but I suggest viewers wait to see if this line drops down, because I think that's exactly what's going to happen. This has been another edition of Across the Board here at SBRforum.com, and definitely follow me on Twitter at JeffGrantSports. Cut.